Hey, I'm Nathan Newberry. I'm a part of Growing Pro CFO, and I want to walk you through real quick of just understanding who we are, what we're about, how we can help you, because more often than not, people are just confused about how to get help around your finances. And so we help a lot of businesses, a lot of Christian business owners we work with to get clean and clear books and have a CFO in your corner to help you translate all the numbers you need in your business. And so that way you have a team in your corner and really have to help build a solution for you. So this is what I want to walk you through. There is one number that every business owner needs to understand and have, okay? And this one is just helping you identify your key freedom number. And we're going to go over this for you. This is the freedom number that you need to know in your business. That's also going to help you in your personal life to know some of that. I'm going to get to that, but there's one number that I want you to be thinking about just to, in all the collusion of everything you need to know, those are the key numbers that you need to know, just those one number. I'm going to show you. There's 7 key metrics and scorecards that I'm going to go over, but one key one. So there's also, let me look at helping you just understand your North Star. So outside of our salvation with Jesus Christ, because I'm a Christian and that's real important and that is something you need to figure out. There's 3 freedom things that you need to know, okay? And this is where we're looking at. We like more money. That's always helpful. We like more time and we like more impact. And these 3 things are real important. The first 2, the money and time, right? So you want more time, flexibility, and freedom. You want more money to enjoy it. Those two things are oftentimes at odds with each other, aren't they? Right? You could go hustle and work 80 to 100-hour work week and you'll make more money, but then you're time poor. Or you can have more time, flexibility, and freedom, but then you're broke. And that's no fun either. But here's the one that wakes you up in the morning, and it wakes me up in the morning, is impact. God has wired us in such a way and fashion that we find a lot of significance and fulfillment when we help other people. And we will do more for anything. We will give money, we will give time, energy, and effort for the things that we care about most. And so when we're looking at the North Star of what we're trying to build a business around, are those 3 things. How can we help you make more money? How you have time, flexibility, and freedom? And how do you enjoy doing the mission and focus and purpose that you have in your life? And that is going to be really helpful and instrumental for you. But let me kind of break this down here is you might be feeling this. You're in a business, but you're trying to figure out, how can I manage it well? Like, I built a business, but it's like controlling me. Like, where does my money go? How do I feel out of control? And so this is maybe an example of some of the challenges that you might be feeling. Like, you wake up at 2 a.m., right? And you're trying to figure out, I got to do payroll coming up. How am I going to make that, work? Or, gosh, I got this tax bill that came in. My wife handed me this, and I'm overwhelmed now of like, how am I going to figure this out? Or there's late bills, or there's bills stacking up. How am I going to do this? And sometimes you have great months and revenue is up, and then somehow there's less in the account because we thought we had more and we spent more and those sort of things. Or we're just afraid to hire. It's like the next person, you're working nights and weekends, you're hustling, you're like, maybe a hire would help, but then you're training people and the time, energy, and effort to it. Sometimes then they fall pieces and you're like, man, where's this cash flow go? And then you have like your working nights and sometimes your weekends trying to figure out, trying to get ahead, try to have a plan. But sometimes it doesn't always come through that way. And then sometimes it's like we want to like have it at hand's distance, right? So we want to kind of avoid the books. We want to avoid looking at our bank account sometimes because we don't want to look at what the bad news is, right? And so sometimes it's kind of frustrating. Hey man, I got to look at my numbers, but I don't want to look at it. And then it's like, it's funner when you have a lot, okay? Just saying, a person experience where you could then be able to be the director in the flow of money. And that's what I teach people how to do. But oftentimes people are just scared of it. So they don't look at it. And so they want to hand it off to someone else and then them to interpret it. That's not the best plan. So if you got to have a plan, you can't be reactive in your business. And you can't just like give up that. So here's some examples, right? It's Friday, payroll's around to hit. You're staying up to 2 a.m. trying to figure it out. Like, that's frustrating. Or like you kind of shoot from the hip. You're flying blind where you're like making blind decisions, hoping and praying it will work. You're trying to grow, but you're not sure if it's going to work. And so there's a scared factor of fear. The business ends up owning you. You become a slave to it, right? Rather than, being able to do it. This is not a thing outside of your wheelhouse. Like, you are working hard. You have things, but sometimes it's just like the organizing of data and tax returns and all that stuff. Just It's the challenge of like knowing those numbers. Okay. So let me give you a clarity around what the vision could be. So this is where you might be right now of trying to feel a little bit overwhelmed and frustrated, but I want to show you a different way. Instead, this is how it could be in just not being stressed. Okay. You know the exact freedom number, meaning the number that you need to know to take home for your business and for your home so your family's good. You have a plan in place and you hit it. Payroll isn't born because you strategically have enough, because you've planned and the coming weeks and forecasted enough. You're providing for your family. You're not white knuckling it where your team or your business is, your team's making more than you. That's not the good thing either. You actually have time off, right? You can plan for a vacation or a trip so that you have nights and weekends to yourself or to your family. The work itself becomes bigger because you have a creative bandwidth and you're not in the suffering strategic realm of things. You have funds to be able to call upon, and so that you're not feeling like you're competing against yourself or frustrated. You have more peace in mind instead of waking up strategically in the middle of the night or 2 a.m. to try to figure out, hey, do I have enough to do this, that, and the other, and you're having to make really tough decisions. You're able to funnel and direct and navigate your business and your money so much better than you would ever have to do. And then the work itself becomes creative and bigger. So when you have more of a creative bandwidth to think about more strategically about the impact that you want to create, instead of feeling like you're money poor or time poor, you have more of a mission focus with alignment of like, how do I then fuel the mission of what you want to do, or fuel or build your team or help people more, strategically, or you're able to give more because you're able to really have a game plan that allows you to have that. So here's the puzzle that so many people have is like, where are you right now? And then where do you want to be? And what is that number that you need to hit to be able to have it? So let me give you an example of what I mean by this. Well, we look at this as like leading, lagging indicators. You need to look at what is the lifestyle budget. And I have a resource in our community here that I'd love to give you. It's called the 3 Lifestyle Calculator. So what you try to figure out is what is those freedom numbers and mile markers that you want to succeed to. Like one is your nut, and then one is a good lifestyle, and then one is a dream income that you want, that would be able to provide everything that you want to do. And so when we identify what that vision of that cost is for you, then it could create a milestone of helping you understand what does the business then need to make to be able to fund that freedom number for you and for your future and all those different plans there in the future. And so this is why when we're looking at your business, more often than not, people don't know how to run a business. They're kind of frustrated because they're just trying to wing it of like, I'm hoping and praying, I'm hoping this works, but you work hard, but you don't have a clear plan or a bulletproof plan of like planning out what your business can turn into. And so that's where you got to have a plan. And so there's a few options that you look at, and these are just normal alternatives here. One of them is you could do your bookkeeping yourself. Ultimately, this is like recording the past. It's not helping you plan for the future. Nobody kind of tells you that. Even your CPA doesn't always do that. The option 2 is you try to do it yourself, or you're trying to use software to help this, or even try to do AI. And this works to an extent. There was a company called Bench back in 2024. They had 35,000 businesses that was all automation and AI. And they raised $113 million, and overnight, I think in 2004. Now, I think they started in 2012, but they just fully shut down in 2024. And you had 35,000 plus businesses that overnight had to figure out a solution for it. Okay, and that's not the best way either, because you need to have someone to interpret. And this is the best option that I would suggest is option 3, is having a CFO in your corner. So a fractional CFO is someone that can help you turn these numbers, the Cyrillic numbers of a P&L, and help you create a game plan for helping you deploy the right way and the right timing and the right way of your money, energy, and effort to be able to deploy to grow and scale. And I've done this with hundreds of people, but trying to help people, even if you have a few $1,000s a month coming in to millions of dollars a month, this is where you need to have a strategic game plan to be able to help you systemize a game plan. And I didn't come from an accounting background. I actually have a theology degree, but I've learned this over a decade of working with hundreds of people. I've exited my own, businesses I've coached hundreds of people with business development over the years. I ran marketing agencies, 2 of them that I exited. So I just know what it takes and what the key numbers are in your business. And that's why you have to have a CFO in your corner. And that's why I'm qualified to help you with this. And what I try to help is I try to boil down what are the key things you need to know in your business. And there's 7 numbers I found that are really key for your business to really know, to really how to scale. And so this is, you got to know your revenue, you got to know your expenses, you got to need to know your lead flow, you got to know the conversion of those leads, you need to know the cost per client, or the cost, or CAC, if you would, and then the retention of your current clients that you have, and then the profit at the end of the day. So when we're looking at all those numbers that we help you translate, what I help you do is, I'm not helping you like, where a bookkeeper will do your books for a month and you don't know the forecasting, and CPA just does your IRS, making sure that you don't go to jail for, tax, compliance and stuff. What a CFO does is giving you the central key numbers and be able to plan of doing this. And this is what I've created. I've seen other CFOs maybe out there and they work for maybe corporate. I'm a fractional CFO that helps you in businesses, in small businesses, maybe just like you, a business where you're trying to figure out the key numbers. Yeah, and these 7 numbers are so crucial. And so this is why what we do is we do your bookkeeping with you, and we have these key numbers that help you run your whole business on your screen. So you have that. And then we have an AI bot that helps translate all of this that I've programmed as an AI CFO that you can talk to in this dashboard itself to help you translate this. So breaking down some of these things, just an example, you have to know your personal freedom number. And that's the number 1 business number that you need to know so that you know how to be able to build your business around that key number. And then we want to help you know the exact 7 numbers that you need to look at on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly, quarter, year, to have a strategic game plan to be able to do this. And then you have a dashboard that you can rely on that has all these key numbers. So this is how I can help. And this is why, because I've just, again, I've exited multiple businesses, I've ran multiple businesses, and I've helped coach and business development hundreds of people, maybe just like you. I've also sat in a seat where I've interviewed hundreds of celebrities, influencers, business owners, great thinkers to be able to strategically do this. And here are some of the clients that we have, like Mike. He was making over $1 million in his business, but barely taking home anything for his family. And when I started working with him, we strategically adjusted some of his offer. And right away in the first month, he was able to close a $60,000 deal that he was able to pocket all of it. Okay. So there's some ways that we looked at this. And then Scott, he was struggling at like 40, 50K, trying to be able to figure out how to like make ends meet for himself and his family and then all his team. And we turned around his offer. We looked at strategically looking at some of the key elements. He was able to save money, be able to build more profit in his business, and he scaled to 250K a month, which was a big milestone for him. And he's consistently hitting that with his team that's growing and building a lot more profitable, working like 30 hours a week or less. And then Lori, she was struggling. She's working 50, 60 hours a week, and she was struggling at just breaking even, like barely breaking even at 10K. We got her up to 38K, and she has a monthly recurring revenue of that's consistently building and helping her grow her business to 50K, 60K plus consistently. And then Dr. Jesse, Dash, he is a surgeon, and he came up with some AI software to teach other surgeons through this process. And right out the gate, we defined his offer, helped him do some of these things, and we created this offer that he did 35K out the gate, and then he's like 50, 55K right now. Penny, the same thing. She had no offer. She had 0 things. We came into her, built an offer. The built thing, she had 37, I think it's 38, and then it was 8K in monthly recurring revenue as well. And then Corey, he was trying to build this stuff. He was a tattoo artist, and then he had exited 3 tattoo studios too, and we helped him coach clients where he's able to make 10K plus a month, and he's able to travel the world with this. So this is how I help with everything. We give you the clean dashboard with those 7 key numbers. We have an AI CFO, and this is just yearly. I'm trying to think of all the numbers of what this could be potentially. This is not what it costs. This is just like what the value of all this is. With clean monthly books, we do all your bookkeeping with you. We do a monthly financial review with you so you can see what your numbers were in the past, but also strategically strategically look at what's happening in the future. And then we hand off all the tax stuff to your CPA for quarterlies or yearly, things in a neat packet. And then we develop what that the freedom number is, so you have a game plan for the future. And so total value is over $25,000 at least in a year of value, but we don't charge that much. And so having a conversation will allow us to be able to help you with it at a strategic game plan. But here's our process. We have an impact freedom call. It's real quick, 15 minutes, and then we do an analysis, and then we go over a proposal that gives you a flat, steady rate, so you're able to budget around it. We do a simple onboarding, so we plug in all the dashboard, and then we develop that strategy around helping you achieve your freedom number. We also want to give a guarantee, because I appreciate this, and I want to do this for you. If you can't see in the first 90 days of working with us a 3x return on your investment with us, I'm going to refund you everything. And then I'll work with you until you hit it. Like I'm really want to be transparent about knowing how I can help you. This is not an expense. This is an investment to help you grow and scale, having an advisor in your corner to help you strategically build this. So if you even have a bookkeeper that you like, maybe you have someone even on your team. I get this question like, all right, I have a bookkeeper. This is where I can sit in a seat as a CFO. To really help you and your bookkeeper and your leadership team, and you be able to have a clear strategy, still alignment with a bookkeeper. So you can still have that to help. I'm very selective about who I work with, and sometimes I turn away people, and I just want to let you know that I take a limited amount of people on every single month just because of limited capacity with me and my team, because all the hard work and customization that we do for everybody. And so on this call, I'll let you know if I can even help you or not. But we are here to help, and I want to really kind of strategize with this. It looks like my face is cut off on this slide here, but the goal is to be a good steward of what we have, right? And you can't be a good steward if you don't even know what you're looking at in your business, because you have to stay on top of everything. And this is why even Luke 16:10 says, whoever is faithful with a little will be trusted with much. And that's the big thing that I want to help you with, and to really make sense and learn how to really look at your numbers. And this is what I would suggest is let's book a call together for 15, 30 minutes, and I'm going to able to analyze where you're at and be able to put a game plan together. And really, you can take that strategy and win, or if we wanted to continue to work together, I want you to have a win-win in this conversation. So book a call down below. Love to talk with you. Looking forward to serving you at the highest level, and we'll see you then.